So in just a couple of days, I'm going on a trip of a lifetime. I'm barely holding my emotions and my excitement because I've been waiting for this trip for so long. And this trip is not only special because of its unique location, but in any way, it's gonna be exceptional and totally out of my comfort zone. I have not been traveling for an entire year. I've been recovering from a burnout. Okay, let me just spill it out. I'm going to Japan. I'm going there with my little brother. And we've been planning this trip for years because we were supposed to go in March 2020. And then the pandemic happened. Literally, the world closed 3 days before our flights. So here we are, 4 years in the making. We're finally going on our almost 3-week trip to Japan. And that's not all. We're going there for cherry blossom season. Yes, the busiest time of the busiest times. Just a little bit like anxious, can I say that? Now, whether you've been to Japan or not, you probably know that this location is special for so many reasons. It's just so different from our Western culture. And it's also different because unlike many of the locations where I traveled so far, you really have to plan and get a lot of information in advance and book a lot of the things in advance, just because we are actually going to Japan during the most busiest time. But that's not all. My brother, he has never traveled outside Europe. He has never actually been on a trip. He never traveled. He has never flown on a commercial airplane. And we've actually never traveled or gone anywhere for more than a few hours or a day together. So this is gonna be totally new for both of us. And to top it off, we are both introverts. Yes, I know many would probably disagree. At least when it comes to me, my friends think that I'm extroverted, but I'm only like that around people that I know well. Many tests have shown me that I'm actually introverted. And both me and my brother have social anxiety to some degree or another. I have a history of anxiety attacks and panic attacks when I was in social situations that I found uncomfortable. My brother, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but a few years ago we were talking about this quite a lot. He had a little bit of social anxiety and issues stepping into the workforce. So yeah, we are literally going to the most crazy, most overwhelming, couldn't get more different than the Western world country. And we're both a little bit anxious about it. So I thought that I would make this video about how we are actually mentally preparing ourselves and how we are organizing this whole trip. I thought that maybe somebody would find this useful if you're dealing with any such issues that we are. So I thought, what better way than just to have a chat with my younger brother. So let's go. Hello, Uroš-san. Everybody, meet my brother! By the way, look at this room. It's like an anime art collection gallery. So, if you would have to describe yourself, what would you say?
I'm a human being.
That's an accurate description.
I walk on 2 feet. I don't know.
What do you like? What do you don't like?
I don't like being filled into my face in my room. That's what I don't like.
Okay, we back up a little bit. I would describe my brother as a shy but genuine, kind and humble person. I would describe him as very introverted, kind of loving his comfort zone. It goes without saying that he loves Japan, anything Japan related since he was a teenage boy. He's a fun person, so I don't doubt that we're gonna have a good time. Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting also to get to know my brother on a little deeper level because if there's any way that you can get to know a person, it's definitely when you're traveling with them, and it's gonna be an intense 3 weeks together pretty much all the time. So, are you watching things to do in Japan? This is how we're getting ready. We literally watched 100 videos about stuff.
I already made my, like, where I need to go in
This is
Akihabara.
your plan on a piece of, what
Chocolate
is
paper.
this? Chocolate candy wrapping. What? Look, everybody,
I'm
this is
just
how you
making-
plan Japan. You just.
I'm not even taking this with me. Like,
So you're gonna memorize it?
I mean, it's
But
just,
where are you going? Tell everyone where you are going.
for Akiba.
Ah, that's
This-
the neighborhood where we're
No,
staying the last
the
day.
stores. Yeah, but I'm not gonna go until the last day.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm gonna buy shit before we.
We're gonna be in Ginza anyway, so. But what is your concern? Do you have any?
It's gonna rain a lot.
You think it's gonna rain a lot?
No, that's my concern.
Oh, that's your concern, that it's gonna rain.
A lot. Like, it's gonna rain definitely in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
But, like,
probably.
It would be such a shit show if it would, like, rain on the 16th of March.
Why?
if it's
Okay,
gonna rain.
why is it... Okay, tell me why it's gonna be such a big problem if it rains on the 16th.
Because I planned my Orai trip for it to be sunny. I'm gonna rent a bike, and if it's gonna rain, it's gonna limit my, like, area of exploration.
Maybe make a plan B.
There is no
Just
plan B.
walk is
Just
the plan.
gonna wing it.
Okay.
It's gonna rain. Shit happens. I'm gonna be
Hmm.
wet.
Why did you have to plan all those details ahead?
Because it'd probably get lost otherwise. I can use Google Maps and, like, there can be 2 streets and I can still get lost.
You think you will get lost?
Yeah.
And have you checked your road map situation on Google View?
Yeah.
The whole path?
The most trafficked path, I guess. The main road with the
The
most
busiest.
Yeah.
Okay. And why did you do that?
I haven't ridden a bicycle in like 20 years. And I don't know the rules in Japan for riding bicycles, so I just kind of
So
check
kind
the road if there's a bicycle lane or not.
of to ease the anxiety of like, how are you gonna manage getting from A to B?
A to
Would
B
you say
and
that?
B to C and then
And then C. Are you gonna do the whole alphabet?
I mean,
How many stops do you have?
It was like
yeah.
It was like a round trip. Like, start at the train station, go and then get back to the train station.
I think my biggest concern is just the fact that I'm still recovering from a burnout. I thought that 4 months and a half would be enough for me to like really regenerate and get my strength and my energy back, but I'm not quite there yet. So my biggest concern about Japan is that it's actually gonna be so overwhelming and so much going on and like so many new sensations and so many new impulses. Like, I'm a very sensitive person when it comes to sound, light, smells, touch, everything. So my worry is that it's gonna be a little bit too much for my senses and I'm gonna get exhausted and I'm not gonna be able to enjoy the trip as much as I would like. I think also I'm concerned that we made our itinerary way too dense with different towns and different experiences and everything that we would like to see and do. Yeah, now that it's approaching, I'm a little bit concerned that we should have maybe made it a little bit more relaxed. But because we did get some hotels and restaurants for free, because I'm gonna be writing an article about all of this, we just had to book everything in advance. There's no other way. And also the season, cherry blossom season, it's so busy. You cannot just go to Japan and wing it and just improvise with where you're gonna sleep because it's all booked out. So I haven't traveled like this for a very long time where I would have everything organized and planned in advance and booked in advance. Yeah, it does worry me a little bit that it's just gonna be too much of everything, too overwhelming, because I'm very time anxious. So I'm just concerned that having all these timetables and schedules and stuff, that is just going to be a little bit tiring. So that's what you're doing on the day when you're taking a day trip to what it's called, Orai?
Yeah.
But okay, so let's track back a little bit. Why are we going to Japan?
Because I always wanted to go. Well, not always. Like since my teenage years, I wanted to go to Japan.
So like what? That's almost 20 years? No, a little bit less.
19, 18 years.
And when did we start planning this trip?
2019 was the first one.
Yeah, probably even sooner, right? We were supposed to go in March 2020, but what happened?
9 coronas. The corona happened. What else? And it screwed the plans.
Would you say that you have been waiting for this trip for 4 years now?
Yep.
More than 4 years, like almost 5 years. How badly are you anticipating this?
What do you mean? What do you
How
mean?
excited are you to go to Japan finally? From 1 to like super duper excited?
You mean from like 1 to 10 and then we turn it to 11? You mean that thing? Yeah, it's 11.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, it's like you have one thing on your bucket list. Like the one thing is like go to Japan and you click that, and that's like it.
That's your only bucket list thing.
It's like if people have like bucket lists like up to 100 things they want to do. I have like one thing, go to Japan, and that's so going to Japan is like, yeah, completing your lifelong desire.
So you would say it's a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, and not the last one.
How excited are you now? What are you feeling now when it's only...
Well, it's still a week. No, it's more than a week.
Yeah, it's like 9 days.
I don't feel any excitement. I'm probably gonna be excited the day before because I'm not gonna be able to sleep or some shit. Like, the day before, yeah. But right now, since it's more than a week and I still have to work for a week, so holding back my excitement for when I'm actually gonna be free from work. How am I feeling a week before taking the trip? It's a mix of anxiety and excitement. Anxiety because, like I said, I haven't traveled for so long. Anxiety of how are we gonna navigate and how everything's gonna play out. Excitement of finally experiencing this totally unique country. In the last couple of weeks and months, like what has been the process and how were you preparing? Like what was the preparation process like? I mean, internet. I browse the internet a lot, watch YouTube videos. Definitely learning about the train tickets. Yeah. Trains are... learning like all the base fare, the express fare, that you get 2 tickets. Shinkansen's not covered by JR Pass. Well, not all of them. You still need to pay for some of them extra. The Forever 18 pass that we first tried to have for 5 free days, and then we learned that it doesn't cover express trains, so it was kind of useless again. Yeah. Like you find something out like, oh yeah, the Forever 18 pass is really great, like 5 days of free trains for 12,000 yen, and then you read the small print and it's like no express trains. And then you start planning your Orai trip and you see that every train is an express train, so usually I would buy a one-way flight, I would book 2 or 3 nights, and that's it. And then I wing it when I'm there. Everything is spontaneous, everything is unplanned. I know a couple of destinations that I would want to see, but that's about it. For Japan, we have everything planned out because it's our first time we are doing the classic like golden triangle of the most visited locations in Japan. And also, yeah, our process was a little bit different because I needed first to find a magazine where I can write an article for, and then contact all the hotels and try to get free accommodation in exchange for writing a piece on them.
So a lot of work went into just finding the hotels that are gonna collaborate with us. A lot of back and forth, a lot of emailing, but it's definitely worth it because we're gonna stay in some really incredible hotels I would never be able to afford otherwise. And same goes for food. We are dining in a Michelin star restaurant, for instance. If you would like to know more about how you can get hotels and restaurants and even activities for free, basically anywhere in the world, with having no followers, you don't need to be an influencer or anything like that. You just need to know how to write, and you need to find a magazine or any media outlet, even a social media outlet, where they will accept your content. If you would like me to make a video that goes super in detail on how to do that, comment below and I can make that video after I come from Japan. And the rest of preparation was more mentally. So anyone who is dealing with anxiety will tell you that you can ease anxiety. The more information you have about something, the better you're gonna feel, the more confident you're gonna feel about it. I like to prepare in advance and know as much as possible in advance before doing something, going somewhere, just getting familiar with the place, and that eases my anxiety. So I did watch a lot of videos on Japanese customs, how to order things, how to go someplace, how the towns look like, what are some of the sites that are in the cities and towns. Just getting a little bit more familiar with things than usual. Are you concerned about Japanese customs or any such thing? No, because you're pretty knowledgeable in that.
No, but even then, like, they will see from like my face that I'm not Japanese, so I make mistakes. So they have the thing called gaijin pass, foreigner pass. Basically, when if you make mistakes or don't follow their customs, you're kind of excused because you're not Japanese. That exists.
All right. You think that goes for clothing? Because yesterday I watched a video and they were interviewing people on the street. Mainly it was like very young people. And they were asking them what they think is not appropriate for a foreigner to wear in Japan. And they were all kind of saying like tight leggings or like tank tops, tight clothing, showing like
they have kind of
cleavage.
Weird, they have kind of weird clothing etiquette. Because they even said like for guys to wear shorts, it's kind of weird. But like
Yeah.
Shorts are normal. Like, but then they say, oh yeah, foreigners can wear that.
Okay, is there anything other than Orai that you are really excited to see and experience?
Anime Japan. Obviously. Gotta be a weeb. So yeah, I bought tickets for Anime Japan.
Yeah, we actually made a whole itinerary around you going to the anime convention.
Well, it would have been even worse if I would got the tickets for the one concert, the Holofest.
Okay, so those are the two main things. Are there any landmarks, sightseeing, or anything like that? You're just like, no, I don't give a shit. Just give me anime.
No, just give me the Orai trip and the Anime Japan. That's gonna be like the main experience. But yeah, like just looking at streets, buildings, temples, tori.
What am I excited to see and experience? The cherry blossoms, come on, like it's literally the reason why we're going to Japan now. The culture and the food. I love sushi, so I'm so excited to try the real thing. And yeah, just all the variety of food, the Shinkansen experience. I mean, there's so much. I think everything is just gonna be so new and different that even if I would just stay in a hotel and just go eat food, that would be enough for me. So anything that's extra, I know is gonna be really, really amazing. I'm probably gonna cry like 10 times in Japan. Happy tears. Not, I hope I don't get too overwhelmed. Every once in a while I think about, okay, two introverts with social anxiety walking around Tokyo feels like blind leading the blind, you know? How are we gonna cope with everything? But I think it's gonna be fine. How excited are you to travel with me? Well, actually, first, how excited are you to go outside of Europe for the first time, to fly for the first time in a commercial airplane, and to travel with your sister?
I don't know what to expect of the plane because I never was on a plane before, so
Does that concern you, or do you get anxious about?
I don't feel like it's gonna be any different than taking the bus.
It's more like taking a train, I would say. Feels more like taking a train.
It's more like taking a train, and
Because you can get up, you can go to the toilet. On a bus, you really cannot do that. You're just sitting there.
and then there's no real concern, I guess. I just don't know how it's to experience the takeoff and landing. Those
But
those can be
you-
a little bit shaky, I guess.
It depends.
Mm.
On the big ass planes, usually it's not a problem. And how excited are you to travel with me?
Well, at least I'm gonna have company.
Oh, thank you. How about me planning half of this trip? More
Yeah.
than half?
If I would plan myself, just like Tokyo and maybe Kyoto, and that would be it. If I would plan for myself.
Are you at all concerned about the size of everything and the busyness of everything? Like, Tokyo is pretty busy, like even just walking the streets, you know what I mean? So going from a teeny tiny Slovenia living in the countryside to one of the most massive cities in the world.
I don't feel concerned about that.
It definitely concerns me that it's gonna be busy and overwhelming. I've seen some pictures from Kyoto, from Tokyo, but I will also try to avoid some of that. I'm not so attached to I have to see some sort of sights. I don't have to go to the busiest temples and things. I'm fine just walking around neighborhoods and maybe finding some neighborhoods in some places that aren't so busy. Like, if it's gonna be too much, I'm just gonna remove myself from that situation when it's gonna be possible to minimize the stress and to minimize the anxiety. That's my plan. Do you think you're gonna have any like culture shock experiences?
Well, probably a little. Okay.
What are you excited about food-wise?
Food-wise, I'm gonna eat something that I probably will regret putting in my mouth, like scallops or something. Yeah, and they have
Also-
seafood.
You're a fan of Japanese whiskey, so we should go some whiskey tasting.
Every
You're out
bar's
of
gonna have
focus.
some whiskey. Of course, I'm gonna have myself a glass to try
You think you're gonna get drunk in Japan?
most days.
At least you're honest.
I just looked some beer that they have in like 6% alcohol, and I'm like, oh, in Slovenia we have 4 and they have 6.
This is gonna be such a fun trip. We're both gonna get drunk and then
The amount of coffee and headache pills and alcohol and yeah, fun times.
there you have it, guys. Fun times are waiting in Tokyo and the whole Japan. Thank you so much for taking the time, my little brother. Goodbye. Have fun. Alright, so this is all about how two introverts with social anxiety are preparing to go to Japan, featuring my younger brother Uroš. If you have any questions, please do comment below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Alright, take care, bye bye.